Do you practice with a metronome? If you don't, you're missing out on one of the most powerful weapons that you have at your disposal for your guitar improvement. After teaching for 15 years, I have seen that my students, when they practice with the metronome, they grow like astronomically faster than my students that don't practice with the metronome. Although it's about 100% of my students that practice with the metronome nowadays, because I've shown them how to use it, and my students don't find it to be drudgery. They actually enjoy it because they see the benefits. Whenever I click on a metronome or whatever, there's almost like this excitement in the room because they know that they're going to perform better and it's going to produce amazing results for them. So if you're not practicing with the metronome, you need to start today. You are missing out, like you're losing part of your guitar education. You're wasting time. You're wasting time if you're not practicing with the metronome. I'm serious. Okay? So I'm going to teach you today how to practice with the metronome. Alright? So it's super simple. You can actually pull up a metronome on the internet at metronomeonline.com. So I'm going to pull up my metronome really quick. And you can download apps on your phone. If you use iPhone, I use, if you just type in metronome in the App Store, I use the very first one that comes up. And it's super cool. It works great. I think there's a paid version, but there's a free version that's awesome. So there's a lot of great metronomes out there. You don't need anything crazy, okay? But you've got to start practicing with the metronome. So today I'm going to give you 2 exercises that you can do with the metronome and show you why they're so important, okay? I'm going to link to, in the bottom in the show notes, in the description, I'm going to provide you a link to download a free PDF that you can use in your practice time practicing with the metronome, okay? So the first one goes like this. It's a chromatic exercise that will help with your speed and your right and left hand synchronization tremendously, okay? Now I give this to even my beginner students because it absolutely helps you even to chord better and have more agility and produce more strength in your fingers and your hands. It will even help you to produce your endurance. So, you know, if you learn to play fast, you find out that you can get tired pretty quickly. So you need warm-up exercises to work out your muscles and build up your strength day by day. So this is one of the best exercises for that. It's just a very simple chromatic exercise. So you're going to start here at the 1st fret on the 6th string, and again, download the PDF below so you can follow along and just keep this at your disposal and you won't forget how to do it. Okay, so start on the 6th string at the 1st fret. Make sure you're playing right behind the fret. Don't do this where you're on the fret. Don't do this where you're way over here. One of the greatest guitar secrets that most people don't know about is you need to play right behind the fret. It's easier and it sounds better. Alright, so here we go. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple, right? And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the next string. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm doing the first 4 frets and I'm using all 4 fingers. Then I go to the next string and just go up like this. Then I'm going to start over at the 2nd fret and I'm going to go back down the strings. Start over the 3rd fret. Go back up. And so I'm just going to keep this motion. Okay? And then in my picking hand, I'm using alternate picking. So I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up. That's super important. You won't be able to go fast. You won't be efficient if you don't do that. Also, try to make your strokes small. So you're going to go down, up, down, up. You can see how small my pick strokes are. So you want to do this with the metronome. Start around 40 beats per minute, okay? And you're just going to go really slowly. So it would sound like this. So I go. And you just play with each beat. And you want to try to anticipate the beat. So you hit it at the same time. So you're not before or after. Alright. Now, practicing with the metronome has several benefits. One of them is that it actually helps your rhythm playing. It helps you be more on the beat. One of the secrets to being on the beat and playing in time really well is actually practicing scales and exercises with the metronome. It'll actually help your strumming and everything. It's tremendous. I was struggling with this a few years back, and I was getting ready for a recording, and the engineer told me, hey, if you just practice your scales with the metronome, you'll play on beat. And sure enough, I did. And I believe it was that album I recorded where I didn't have to do any overdubs for the whole album. It was a live album. We recorded the whole thing live and didn't have to do any overdubs. We played for like over an hour, I think. And anyway, a lot of it was because I practiced with metronome. So, okay, so you're going to start slow, all right, and just make sure you're, real fluid, okay. And you're going to gradually speed up. So after you get comfortable, then maybe jump to 45 or 50. And then, eventually you'll jump up to, maybe you'll get up to 100. And you just gradually increase your speed. You're going to go all the way to the 12th fret. When you get to the 12th fret, you're going to go back down. Okay? So you're just going. Now start over at the 11th fret. Still going down the frets, but up the strings. And then the 10th fret. And always using alternate picking. And then just go back down. So this exercise will help you tremendously. But you've got to do it with the metronome. If you don't have a metronome, if you're not playing with the metronome, you are missing out. Because when my students play with the metronome, for example, when I first teach them the scale, they'll go like, and that's just what it's like when you're first starting out. There's nothing wrong with that. But when I turn on the metronome, something amazing happens, and they sit up straighter, and they get closer to the frets, they watch their technique closer, they want to make the note last longer, because they have a reference point for what is perfect, and now they have a better idea of how to get there because they're listening to the metronome. It will make you want to play better. You've got to try this, okay? Please, please. So use this exercise, all right? The other way you can use it is if you're learning chords, okay? So this is the second way that you can use the metronome, well, that I'm going to teach you today, because there's a gazillion ways. But another way is if you're learning chords, you can hammer the chords. Let's say, for example, I'm doing a chord progression like A minor, E minor, D, G. So it's like. Let's say I'm having a hard time going from the D to the G, so I'm going like. It's kind of messy. So what I can do is I can just practice going, hammering on the D, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll hammer on the G. And I'll switch between those, okay? But I'm going to use the metronome, so it's going to keep me on guide. So let's do 50 beats per minute. So I'll go like 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a really powerful muscle memory exercise. 3, 4. I've done another whole video on this exercise by itself. It's extremely powerful. So this is another way you can use the metronome for that. And then after you do this for like 30 seconds to a minute, you won't even struggle with the chord changes anymore. I'm not kidding, guys. The things I'm telling you right now, I literally watch them transform my guitar students playing like every week in my studio, okay? Like, they know the power of the metronome, okay? They don't doubt it, okay? I have, I think, roughly like 20 students right now, and they get it, okay? Like, pretty much all of them practice with the metronome, and they see the benefits immediately in class, and they're doing it every day at home. I give them clear practice routines, and part of that involves the metronome, and they do it and they see results every week, okay? So please do yourself a favor, listen to what I'm saying, put these things into practice. If you're struggling with any chord changes, identify those chord changes, which chords they are, and practice with the metronome going back and forth at slow speeds, and then gradually speed up. And then add your strumming back in, do it just like you normally would. You will be amazed. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I'm not struggling with it anymore. I promise, okay? You're gonna get that transformational benefit. So just use this exercise, okay? Don't forget to download the free guide below. It's gonna have this first exercise in there for you. All right? And that's gonna help you a lot, even with your chords and everything. So practice with the metronome. If you don't have one, download one on your phone. You can find one online at metronomeonline.com. All right? Go have some fun. Practice with the metronome. See you guys.